Hi, my name is Adrian and I'm one of the members of Imperial Romanum group. From the beginning, I can say that this semester project was really interesting for me. It's the first time when I worked with a web application and also first time when I used continuous integration. Starting with the beginning of the project, it was really difficult to set up the Azure environment together with the GitHub Actions. When we started, I set everything up for continuous deployment, but after some misunderstandings in the commits, I pushed some wrong files in the master branch and everything was failing when trying to deploy to Azure. This is why you will see in the action logs or deployment logs in Azure that the first deploys were failed. After setting this up, we split the work. Nicola took the backend and he also had to set up how we retrieve movies from TMDB. Dragos took the database setup and also how we connect to it in the code, and I was handling the deployments and the front end. Even if in the group presentation and in the documentation, it looks like everybody worked on their specific part, we all worked together, or I think it's better to say that we used the pair programming technique. We had success by doing this since we all learned together at the same time, and some of us were learning faster some parts than the others, and vice versa. The problem we faced was with the movie list table. We had errors when we were running the app because of the way we handled the registration. Each time a user creates an account, an empty list is generated, but the table was not allowed to be empty. We fixed this by implementing a workaround and allowing nulls into the table. Another issue, and this was the most major one, was that the system worked perfect when run locally, but didn't work at all when run on Azure. It turned out that because the Azure Active Directory login was enabled, each time was required to log in into the admin account, but the page was not redirecting the user to that page, which is good and bad at the same time. It is good because the user was not able to see that he has to log in on an Azure page, but it was bad because it was really difficult to track down the source of the error. We fixed this by using application insights and web app logs to find where exactly the application was failing, and then by removing the login admin account. In the testing part, I used the method learned during my internship as a software tester, Selenium and Robot Framework. I decided to go with this one because it's a tool used especially for web apps and because it auto-generates the test report in the end. In my opinion, the outcome of the project was the expected one, a web app hosted in Azure where movie lovers can search movies, add them to favorite list, check other lists, and also see information about movie, including rating, actors, director, and description. For future projects, Azure and GitHub Actions are very useful tools due to the fact that you don't have to think about creating your own server, hosting it, and manually deploying the system each time is needed. In this way, the focus is more on development. In the end, I can say that I learned a lot of useful things related to DevOps that for sure will help me in my future career. Even if it's a school project, the base knowledge is already acquired and will be applied in future projects.